So it made me quite sad to realise that after today, we've only got 2 models left. So the Tallyman is the last of our Death Guard, our last Death Guard model for 40k Conquest. And we've got 2 more for the entire rest of the range. So the next 7 issues only have 2 models. However, let's talk about that at the end, and let's concentrate on this issue for now. So we have the Death Guard Tallymen. We're going to learn about Sergeant Cronus, and we're going to learn about Space Marine Eliminators. I shall build this in a minute. And I've just realised that I didn't get a base with this today. It must have fallen out the packet. The seal was very, very loose today. Anyway, the count starts with this issue because your Death Guard Tallyman is about to take to battle. As both a priest and a record keeper, your Tallyman will frantically count all sorts of things in battle. By doing this, you can earn your Force Nurgle's favour in your games. His The Sevenfold Chant ability can refund your command points if you're lucky, making him incredibly powerful in your games. We've got great build and paint guides to get you prepared for battle quicker than you can count to 7. Okay, so we're going to learn about the Tallymen, we're going to learn about Sergeant Cronus, Suppressors, Space Marine Suppressors, Space Marine Eliminators, how to build the Tallymen, how to paint them. Then we've got Rules Mission 57, the Death Guard Tallymen attempt to gain Nurgle's blessings. That's called Power in Numbers. And then we've got the data sheet for our Tallyman. Okay, so Tallymen. Nurgle and his followers know that words and numbers hold great power. Mortarion is particularly obsessed with the number 7, the unholy number of Nurgle. The Tallymen are responsible for preaching the value of this number, attracting the blessings of the Plague God with their endless count. So the title Tallymen, the role is spiritual leader and keeper of the diseases. Duties are preaching Nurgle's creed and empowering allies. And the notable conflicts are the Plague Wars and War in the Rift. So it's got some information about here. So some of the, maybe not war gear because they're not specifically for war, but here's a few things that appear on the model. So we've got tomes and parchment. A Tallyman's count is recorded by hand, scratched onto rotting paper with poisonous quills. To record his counts, he carries heavy books and parchment covered in spidery script. He's got some Nurglings on there. Nurgling attendants caper around a Tallyman's feet, carrying his writing equipment and passing fresh scrolls to him whenever they are required. And then this thing on the top is a Vox speaker. A Tallyman carries giant speakers through which his tally sounds, his words accompanied by the scratching of his quill. One of the most famous of Mortarion's Tallymen is Scribus Wretch. His count lasted thousands of years, resulting in a stack of records large enough to fill countless libraries. His presence on the battlefield fills his brothers with joy. Wherever Scribus Wretch steps, the blessings of Nurgle will surely follow. Okay, so that's cool. Then we've got Sergeant Cronus. Antaro Cronus is the most gifted of all Ultramarines tank commanders. His abilities extend to almost any tank in the Ultramarines armory. Few other tank commanders can match the accuracy of his fire. So his title is the Spear of Macragge. He's a tank commander. His specialities are vehicle combat and marksmanship. And notable conflicts are the Damnos campaign, Ironblood War and Battle of Quintarn. For a Space Marine to serve in the armoury of his chapter is a great honour, for it is to be entrusted with the chapter's most valuable weapons of war. To succeed at the control of such a vehicle, the crew must suppress their own minds and emotions and adopt their steed's form as their own. A crewman must be able to operate his tank efficiently as he can his own limbs. Sensors and viewfinders must become his eyes, and missiles and guns his fists of rage. And then it's got some of his history of war, Vandalus II, Traitor's Ruin, and Spearos. And then it's got the Spear of Macragge. Spear of Macragge is an ancient title awarded to the Ultramarines' greatest tank commander. Currently this is Sergeant Antaro Cronus. When he leads a formation of tanks to battle, the formation is also referred to as the Spear of Macragge. It's the Spear of Macragge Cronus is not subject to the orders of a captain and answers only to the Primarch and to Lord Macragge, Marneus Calgar. Okay, now we've got Space Marines Suppressors. Now these specific models here came out with the Shadow Spear box a few months ago, and I think they're available to purchase separately now. Suppressors are rapid response troops who use their jump packs to reach vantage points before using their heavy weapons to suppress enemy infantry and destroy heavily armoured foes. Okay. Suppressing fire, keep their heads down. Suppressor Sergeant Ludo Valentus. So on their war gear, so what have we got? We've got grab vanes. Grab vanes allow suppressors to jump out of their transports at high altitude and drop into the fight. Their ammo belts. The suppressor's accelerator autocannon is belt fed from a drum magazine on his backpack. Then it's got its thrusters. It's got Omnis armour. Omnis armour is made up of components from a variety of other armours. Then we've got the smoke launcher. The Sergeant's accelerator autocannon is fitted with a smoke launcher, which can be used to mask a withdrawal. And then other weapons are frag and crack grenades and a bolt pistol. Okay, on to Eliminators. Eliminator squads are snipers that belong to the Space Marines Vanguard. They operate in the shadows of the battlefield, picking off targets of opportunity with their weapons. Okay, so their weapons are bolt pistols, the bolt sniper rifle, instigator bolt carbine, and a las fusel. Some battles require a squad of eliminators to engage enemy armour. When a squad undertakes this role, they will often wield armour-piercing las fusels instead of sniper rifles. Okay, how to build a Tallyman. Standard. How to paint him. Now we've got no more paints left in the run, so there should be the full paint guide. Which will bring him up to look something like this, which is cool. So it's a really comprehensive paint guide this week. So we've got one model here, and it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a whole 6 pages for that. So that's cool. Now we've got mission 57, power in numbers. Tallymen stalk the battlefield, counting as they go. Diseases, death, injuries, victories and defeats. All these things are recorded on their mouldy scrolls. Each Tallyman carries a realm of scrolls upon which they tally their counts. Use the scroll below to tally each objective as you play through the mission 3 times. If you manage to tally all 7 objectives, then your Death Guard forces will be victorious. That's a nice touch, I like that. So, the Tallyman cometh. The Death Guard have launched a huge assault on several Ultramarines positions. This mission is designed to be played 3 times, with the Death Guard player attempting to achieve the objectives on the tally scroll, shown on the reverse of this page. So the battlefield roll off and starting with the winner. Take turns placing battle mats on the layout shown above, then place terrain in an agreed manner. Roll off and starting with the winner, each player places a single objective marker. These objective markers must be more than 9 inches from each other and from the battlefield edge. So Battleforged Army with a power rating of up to 50. Deployment is players roll off, the winner chooses the deployment zone. Players then alternate deploying their units, starting with the player who chose the deployment zone. After all units have been deployed, the player who finishes setting up their army first can choose to take the first or second turn. And so victory conditions, we've got each objective controlled at the end of the game is 2 victory points. A player controls an objective if they have more models within 3 inches of the enemy. An enemy warlord slain is 1 victory point. Lasts for 5 battle rounds. If the Death Guard player completes their tally scroll in 3 games, they are victorious. Okay, so what have we got? 7 disgustingly resilient rolls passed in 1 turn. 7 disgustingly resilient rolls passed in 1 turn. Okay. Sounds like it might be quite difficult to do, actually. But I suppose you've got 3 battles to do it in. 7 supercharged plasma shots fired in 1 turn. 7 Ultramarines models slain in 1 turn. You'd better hope that there's a lot of weak units out there. 7 Poxwalker models slain in 1 turn. 7 Psychic tests passed in 1 game. 7 Death Guard command points used in 1 game, and 7 victory points earned over 3 games. It's quite a lot to achieve there. That's good, interesting anyway. And then finally we've got the Death Guard data sheet for the Tallyman. Movement of 5, weapons and ballistic skill 3 up. Plasma pistol, which got a standard and supercharged option. Then we've got blight grenades and crack grenades. Abilities are Death to the False Emperor, Disgustingly Resilient, Festering Zealot, and 7-fold chance. If your army is battle forged and you have any Tallyman on the battlefield, roll 2d6 every time you spend command points to use a Death Guard stratagem. If the result is 7, Nurgle bestows his blessing upon your army. The command point spent to that stratagem is immediately refunded. Wow, that's really cool. Okay, then we've got some stuff about Citadel miniatures, which is interesting. And then, so we've actually only got 2 models left to go. So the next 4 issues is all about our repulsor. And I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that's 3 separate sprues and 1 big massive base, but I'm not entirely sure. Put me right if I'm wrong. And then the rest of the last 3 issues is 1 big mama piece of terrain. So this is our last Death Guard unit. So we better make him up and have a look. So there we have it. A Death Guard Tallyman. He's a cool model. I'd say I'm a big fan of anything that's got Nurglings in it. His scribe or quill is a bone, a sharpened bone. I'd always seen this. I didn't realise that that was a Voxcaster up there, kind of broadcasting throughout the battles. But yeah, very cool. Right, so that's that for this week. I will be back either later on this week with Mortal Realms issue 3. But if you're not interested in that, I will see you next week for a Primaris Repulsor, or at least the start of it, for issue 75. Also this weekend I'll be reviewing and going through, unboxing, all that kind of stuff, all of this weekend's Warcry releases. So I'll be covering all of that this weekend as well. So if you're interested in that, join me on Saturday and Sunday for those videos as well. But as usual, thank you very much for watching, guys. I will catch you later.